a decision like that, from me, you know, in my opinion. But I think in the end, second half, again, you look to the bench, there's not too much other than 𝕊𝕒𝕚𝕚 coming on, Martinelli. We just needed a little bit more firepower off the bench, maybe.
Yeah, there is one big talking point in that game, and it was the way that Brighton came back into the contest via the penalty spot. And that's because of this coming together between William Saliba and João Pedro. Glenn.
Well, I obviously disagree with Ian because I think it is a penalty. I think it's effectively a challenge. Saliba is just slightly late. Effectively, if it's on the floor and you get first to the ball and you make contact with the player, it's a penalty, and therefore, for me, that is a clear and obvious penalty.
You know what? I watched 𝕊𝕐𝕐𝕚 and Anthony Gordon today, and I'm thinking they've not given that as a pen, but they can give this as a pen. Where's the consistency? It's pathetic. 𝕊𝕐𝕚's nearly broken his nose. He's just gone to try and head the ball here. It's like I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't know what, because I saw that one. It's not a pen, but this is. Come on, man, it's ridiculous. We've got the worst in Europe in respect of the decisions they make. They're the worst I've seen, these lot.
Well, let's try and get some clarity, shall we? Former Premier League referee Dermot Gallagher joins us now from the Match Centre. Always good to see you, Dermot.
Thank you.
So let's have a look at that. What is your reading of that coming together collision, headbutt, whatever way you want to put it?
I'm in Glenn's camp, actually, Manish. You know, I think he's unlucky. He goes to head the ball, there's no doubt about it. But if you see, the ball gets moved on there, he goes to try and head the ball, but he catches him on the head. This is a great angle. See, there's the ball moved away, then he comes in and catches him. I think once you do that, it's a foul for me. You know, if that happens in the halfway circle, the referee's going to give a foul. So I think a penalty. Tough call for the referee. You know, he took his time, he run it through his head, and I don't mind that. But I think he's got it right.
Yeah, and I suppose the reason we're debating this is because we very rarely see something like that happen, don't we?
We were actually discussing it during the match, and I can't ever remember that happening before. It's such an unusual incident. But you look at it, and it's very, very difficult when you see it in a cold light of day like that to say it's not a foul.
What about 𝕊𝕐𝕚?
Yeah, so let's have a look then what happened earlier in the day in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Dejan 𝕊𝕐𝕚 here with Anthony Gordon, not with the head, but with the shoulder. Well, nothing was given here.
I think this is a penalty as well, Manish. I think it's a penalty anyhow, because I think of how he catches him. If you watch there, his shoulders up, he catches him in the face, he catches him in the nose. And you see here, he's nowhere near the ball.
How can they watch this? How can they watch that, Derm, and not give that as a pen? But they can watch this one with Saliba and give it as a pen. If they gave that as a pen, then I would take this one, no problem. Yeah. But I'm no way am I taking that as a penalty if they're not giving 𝕊𝕐𝕚's one. I mean, Gordon's one. Yeah. I can't believe it. I can't believe what I've just seen.
And I think, Wrighty, that's why I'm sat here in front of the camera talking to you, isn't it? Because if they were both given as penalties, you go, fair enough. If they were both given not as penalties, say, fair enough. But when you compare them, without doubt, in my opinion, the 𝕊𝕐𝕚 is the worst of the two. I think that should be a penalty. The second one's a referee's on-field call, so that's why that's given.
Yeah, the contact is there and clear to see, isn't it?
I feel 𝕊𝕐𝕚 makes his body a little bit bigger just at the end there to make sure he doesn't get past. And for me, they're both stonewall penalties.
I think the clue here as well, Glenn, is the ball. If you watch the ball, where the ball is in relation to the challenge, he's so late. For me, it's got to be a penalty.
Yeah. Another flashpoint in the game at the Amex, Dermot, was when the penalty was being prepared to be taken. Jorginho, amongst the whole group of players on the edge of the 18-yard box. You will see it, I suppose, in the second angle. You can just see a kick out there with his right leg on the Brighton player. Nothing was spotted or given at the time. Is there a punishment to be warranted here?
Well, I think you've got to go through the nuts and bolts of this. Firstly, priority for the officials on the field is the penalty, you know, is the goalkeeper moving, all that. Nobody really looks outside the penalty area for that. It gets picked up by the VAR, and then he's hamstrung to a certain extent because you look at that and you think, it's petulant. I don't think it's a red card, and I don't think anybody would expect a red card for that. So therefore, he's got all or nothing. He doesn't think it's a red card. He can't recommend a yellow card. He can't recommend a public admonishment. So his hands are tied, so effectively they've got away. But
so
what
VAR could only interfere if it was a straight red.
Absolutely.
But in the rules of the game, if you attempt to use or use excessive force against an opponent, and even if you don't make contact, then that's deemed to be a red card. Is that not the case there?
It's got to be deemed violent or an act of violence or brutality, Glenn. And hand on heart, I would never say that was a violent kick-out. I think it's petulant. I think it's very, very unwise. But I didn't expect him to see a red card.
So, suppose he does that. He can't see where 𝕬𝕚𝕚 is. Suppose he catches him on his knee there. Then what?
Well, I think...
Because he can't see where he is. It's not like he's... Like we saw the elbow the other day where he's just missed it.
Pedro's it happened.
Yeah. So with that, he can't see him. So you're saying that if you know, it's petulant. If he catches his knee, then it's violent. He can't see if he's going to catch the knee or not.
Yeah, but you can only go on what happens, Wrighty. You know, you look at that...
It's the intention, though.
Yeah, but I still go back, that's petulant. I don't think it's violent, and I think we've got to be very careful we don't get wrapped up in what happened a week ago.
But what about Pedro's one? That looks like it was petulant.
We can't get wrapped up in it. We all know, Wrighty, that a week ago, if a red card had come out there, nobody would be arguing with it. It was, you know, that was a sheer act of violence that went on unpunished.
OK. Dermot, thanks very much indeed. It's only taken you 4 days of 2025 to get your tin hat on. But thanks very much indeed.
Look at Dermot, his cool blue shirt. Look at him.
Cheers, Dermot, as always. Former Premier League referee, Dermot Gallagher. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that does to appease your point of view. I know at the end of the day, you just want a level of consistency.
That's all it is.
As everybody else does.
See, I'll go with Glenn. Like Glenn says, like he'll give that as a stonewall penalties.
Yeah.
You know, if they gave Kulusevski's, then I would say, yeah, they've got to do it. I'm sorry, the inconsistency is not good enough. I'd go with the same with the Tottenham goal. No, I'm not. Even that one's confused me. I don't know what to believe in it. I don't know what to do.
OK, I tell you, yeah. Well, while you try and figure out what to do, let's get some post-match reaction from Jean-Paul Van Hecke, who joins us at the Amex Stadium. Very well done on that hard-fought point in the end. Is that how you saw it today?
Yeah, in the end, I think yes. Of course, we wanted to win because, 8 games we didn't win now, and we tried today. I think we had opportunities. I think we conceded a goal, way too easy, and then, of course, it's hard against a good team, but proud of the boys. We fight it for our lives, and then we come back and we try to score another one, and then in the end, you need to be happy with a point.
Yannick, it was like a chalk and cheese performance from Brighton, first and second half. So what was behind that improvement?
To be fair, I think it's already the whole season. You see, we do well for halves or 30 minutes. And, we've been not consistent for the 90 minutes. And then, you see it's tough to play in the Premier League and to win games. I think you need to be there for 90 minutes and then you can win games. Of course, Arsenal is a really strong team and then you should be happy with a point. But, in the end, I think we should be better for the whole 90 minutes.
Jan, it's Glenn. I just wanted to ask you, obviously you've drawn the most games in the Premier League, 10 in total. What can you do to just change that slightly and change those draws into wins?
To be fair, I think there are small margins. I think it's also managing the game sometimes. I think we've been up most of the games and then we draw, or most of the time we draw. And it's also we are a really young team. I think if you look to our average age, it's 22 or 23. So I think we all need to adapt and do better and improve. And I think consistency is the word. But it's quite hard sometimes because we are such young players. So but I think you cannot say we don't give everything. But sometimes you need a bit more than that. You need experience as well. And I think that comes by games and hopefully soon in the future.
That age makes you one of the more experienced members of the squad now, doesn't it, Jan?
Yeah, I think so. And I'm 24. And we see always before the game, we see the teams, the lineup, and then you see the age, and all 27, 28, 30, 29, and then sometimes there's a 20-year-old or a 21-year-old, but most of the time 29 all in the prime. And then you look our age and all young boys. But to be fair, we fight for our lives today, and you cannot ask for more.
And just finally, because of these number of draws, I mean, if there are any frustrations amongst the Brighton fans, I suppose it is the fact, as you've mentioned, new manager, certainly fair few new players, still trying to adapt to his ways, right?
Yeah, also, and I think the manager is doing a brilliant job. He's a really good manager, top manager. So, but yeah, of course, everyone will say we spend a lot of money in the summer. But if you look to it, they all come from other leagues and they need to adapt to the Premier League. It's not easy to play our young guys. So a few players left, and I think it's around 700 games Premier League we lost, and yeah, we get 0 Premier League games back for it. So we need time, and I'm quite sure the club will be there in a few years.
Yeah, and a point against one of the title challenges is no mean feat. Well done today.
Thank you very much. See you later.
jan-Paul van Hekke, centre-half for Brighton.